Hey guys, welcome to Quick Tech Take. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys 7, 8, or 9 tips on how to stay away from trouble when shopping internationally or locally, and also how to get your goods delivered to you without spending much money if you're shipping internationally. For this and more, stay tuned to Quick Tech Take and we'll be right back. Well, if you're new here, please hit the subscribe button so you see our upcoming videos, and do not forget to hit the notifications bell and also subscribe to Quick Tech Take for because it's awesome. At first, we're going to be talking about voltage. If you buy electronics online, some of you might not be familiar with this term voltage. Voltage is extremely important when buying electronics online, especially like smartphones or not really smartphones, appliances and all. The thing is that about the US, Canada, Mexico, Japan, Taiwan, I believe, and some other, and 30 other countries use what they call 110 volts, while the rest of the world uses 220 to 40 volts. The issue is that if you buy appliances that are designed to only work on 110 volts and you take them to, let's say, Australia or the UK where it uses 20 to 40 volts, you might run the risk of damaging your appliance, which might cost you a lot of money. So it's best when you're shopping online, it's best you find if possibly you get a chat going on with the seller of the item, be it on Amazon or AliExpress or whatever, to make sure that your item that you're buying is basically spec to international standard. Or what I mean is that it can work from, let's say, it has a wide voltage range of, let's say, 100 to 200 and something, to 30 to 40 to 50 volts. I believe most appliances you will get now basically fall within that range, like chargers and so on. So you can take something from, let's say, the US, you go on vacation to Europe, where it's mostly to 40 volts to 20 to 40 volts, and most stuff work. But also, just as a note of caution, before buying a next appliance, and always make sure it is spec'd up to, let's say, 110 to 240 volts, to ensure that you do not make a mistake when buying such appliance. Because if you end up buying such an appliance, you might have to spend an extra amount of money to get a step down transformer, which will basically add additional cost to your purchase. Well, next on our list is called dangerous goods. Yeah, believe it or not, there's an item called dangerous goods when it comes to air freight. The issue is this: not every stuff you buy or you see a online store can actually be shipped through an airplane, or if it's possible, you might have to pay more money. Like in my case, I bought a battery from Amazon to ship internationally to where I stay, but the issue is that I had to pay about $35 extra, to freight forwarder, for them to put some fancy stickers to tell the world that I'm shipping a battery. So, and it actually costs more than I paid for the battery itself. So there are other forms of dangerous goods like perfumes, cologne and so on. Probably you might have to do a research on that. If you are buying something you haven't bought before internationally, it's best, I believe, you do some research concerning dangerous goods, just to know, to help prevent the case whereby you might have to, forfeit the stuff you bought and so on, which can actually cause, loss of money and loss of time, and you might have probably spent a lot of time searching for that product. So it's best you make a research about it. I could go on and on about what is classified as dangerous goods, but I can't go extensive into every single topic. But I know on batteries, perfumes and colognes, which is the same thing. Basically, there are all different types of dangerous goods, so it's best to do some research about that to know exactly if what you're buying, if you haven't bought it before, if they do not if they are not classified as a dangerous goods, which might lead you to forfeit or actually pay more money to get your item delivered. Hey, okay, now this one is very, very important. If you are from, let's say, outside the world, if you want to buy stuff from, let's say, from um you want to buy stuff from the US, you have to understand that if you're using a freight forwarder, you also have to know that not all websites ship internationally. Like for me, I normally use a freight forwarder called MyUS, and they have on their website, a list of websites that allow them to ship their products to MyUS, because MyUS uses a tax-free address. And stores like Best Buy, for electronics buyer, Best Buy has a lot of attractive deals you won't find on Amazon. But just so you know, if you buy from Best Buy, you can't ship to a no freight forwarder, because these freight forwarders have a special sales tax free zip code. Sorry, no, just zip code So Best Buy would not ship products to such an address. So if you probably the only way you can get around this is if you have someone in the US that you have to buy and ship to that person, then that person then sends it to you. But there are some other stores that do not offer international shipping, so that is when freight forwarders come in. So you probably don't want to go to some website and start seeing, probably if you are shopping for clothes or something else, and you find out that they don't ship internationally and you've wasted probably 2 to 3 hours surfing their website. So it's best to use freight forwarders like MyUS, Shipito, and so on. They can receive those packages on your behalf and send it down to you. And we'll talk more on that in our future points. Well, talking about US sales tax. US sales tax, there's an average sales tax in the US of about 6% and some change. The thing is that if you're shopping internationally, you don't really need to pay US sales tax, but the only way you can actually avoid it is to use freight forwarders, as I said earlier. For example, MyUS, Shipito, depending on your preference. That's the only way I know you can avoid, using paying sales tax, which is about 6%. And that also varies depending on the region or the country or the part of the US you're shopping from. So if you're buying something and you're shipping to a friend in the US to bring for you, you're gonna have to pay more money, which is also sales tax. So just so you get that on point. So the best way to avoid paying sales tax is to use, freight forwarders. And also you have to find out if the specific freight forwarder you plan to use also has a sales tax free zip code, which is very important, to prevent you from spending extra money to get your package, and nobody wants to spend more money to get the same thing. And that point brings me down to method of shipping. Do you plan on using a freight forwarder, or do you want to use, a friend you have probably living in the country that you want to buy from? If, for example, now I'm going to use US as an example. Let's say you want to buy a couple of stuff and you want to ship it to a friend to put it in a box and send it down to you, or want to go through using, let's say, freight forwarders like MyUS, which I have a lot of experience with. So the thing is this, MyUS is great because they charge a monthly fee of about $7, which they charge every month. I think the first time is about 10 or 15. So the thing is that if you use freight forwarders, you don't get to pay sales tax. Like in my case, MyUS, you don't pay sales tax. And also the good thing about freight forwarders is that they take all your packages together, and it's what they call consolidation, which means they remove all of the individual boxes that your packages come in, and they put them all in one box to reduce, logistics, typing and all what cost that you would have normally paid from shipping individual boxes, and they put it in one box. But it doesn't really stop there. For freight forwarders, in this case, MyUS, they have, you might quote me on this, special deals with freight forwarding companies like, let's say, logistics companies like DHL and so on. So you can actually get pretty insane deal for shipping your packages across the globe. Like, for example, I received a package through MyUS from DHL, and the shipping cost I paid was about $95. I entered the same box dimensions from DHL to where I stay, which is Nigeria, and it cost about $267, which was quite amazing. So you see, basically this is multiple times, or let's say 2.5 times, 1.something time. It is way more expensive, taking your packages to DHL to get it shipped down to your preferred destination. So that might be like a downturn with using a friend who lives over there, because they have to pay the higher costs of using DHL because, well, they can't get special offers from DHL. And now to a very, very important point, your local customs. Like, using a quick example about myself, I bought a drone from Amazon US, which to flying drones in a certain category is perfectly legal in the US, but in my country it's a hassle to import. So I brought it into my country, and boom, I had to go through a lot of logistical nightmare. Long story short, I paid a lot of money to get it through. What I mean is if you are buying stuff internationally, you might see it there on their stores available for sale because it is legal to buy and use in those countries. So you have to check with your local customs website or whatever to make sure that whatever you're buying internationally does not fall on that prohibited list in your home country, because that might lead to you probably forfeiting what you spend, depending on what you're buying, hundreds of dollars or maybe cheap. spend such a high amount of money purchasing, and you might have to lose them, or you might have to pay special fines which might cost you still a lot of money to get those stocks released to you. So it's best you always make sure you check with your local custom. This is extremely important because you don't want to be caught in a situation whereby you have to pay so much money to get your product released, or you might start thinking about just forfeiting it altogether just to save on cost. So please, this is extremely important. Okay, now I'm going to talk about something important: Forex. Let's say the international currency of trade is the American dollars or US dollars. So the thing is this: if you live in the US, you don't have to worry about that. But if you're buying internationally, depending on your country, some countries have fantastic forex policies, while some have completely boggled up and muddy currency transfers or exchange rates. Like for where I live, sometimes on websites like Amazon, you might see what you think you're going to pay, but actually what your card issuer debits from your account will be more than that. I've seen it a couple of times, so I basically just adjust with my mind. Okay, I might see, okay, this stuff is going to cost, let's just say 50,000 naira. So in my mind, I'll be like probably going to be around 60. So if you're buying stuff online and there's a currency conversion being done by Amazon for you, best that you might not pay that exact amount of money. I hope you understand what I mean. This is very important because you might say, okay, let me just put the exact amount I see on Amazon on my account, or you expect your account or your card to be charged that same amount of money. You're gonna be in for a really big surprise because 9.9 out of 10 times you're gonna be charged more than what you see on online stores website. In my case, Amazon or wherever you choose to shop is going to cost you more. That I guarantee. So please have that in the back of your mind to make sure you don't get in for a surprise when you get your credit card bills or your bank statement. Okay, now finally, this video is getting a bit too long. Now running things up with returns. If you're shopping international, when it comes to returns, you're pretty much screwed. Yeah, that's it, you're screwed. Luckily for me, I haven't bought an item that I felt needed to be returned. Neither have I received any item damaged or broken or seals tampered with. So far so good. I've been lucky on that front. I've seen some people with some pretty nasty reviews about purchasing stuff and they found out that the seals were broken and so on. If you live in the US or the country where the online store is located, probably in the UK or so on, or wherever you choose to shop, but it's just plain fantastic, you can just have it returned. But if you're an international shopper, then things is not so easy anymore, because if you want to send stuff back to the manufacturer, you're gonna have to pay with your own money for the shipping company to send it back. And if you're using a freight forwarder, that adds another layer of complexity because you have to send back to your freight forwarder, who will not send back to the individual sellers. So what I'm saying in essence is that if you're buying stuff online, make sure you read a lot of reviews. Do not buy a product that has 1 or 2 reviews or a handful of reviews. Always go for a product that has a rich amount of reviews so you can get a good idea of if this product has a track record of being good and the seller is honest, because it's really important if you are shopping internationally, because you have to know you basically have no return policy. So that's it, guys. Please drop a comment in the comment section if you've had similar experiences or pretty nasty experiences, or if you think there's anything that I've left or not spoken about. Please drop in the comment section so that people can also learn from your experience. So well, that's it, guys. Thank you for joining us today on Quick Tech Take. We will see you in our next video. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and also hit the notifications bell so we can see you in our next video. So peace and have a good one.